Adobe's editing software called Lightroom. It's used by amateurs and professionals. It's a great tool for doing some basic edits to some very high-end edits. So I'm really excited for you to learn how to use this. So to start off, I've given you a link to some images here that I want to use to practice with. And so when you go there, it's going to show these photos here. And you can either go to the folder and do right-click download, or you can just drag over all of them and download them. Whatever you need to do, get them downloaded. So I'm going to do that, but I've already downloaded them, so I'm not going to do that step. So once they're downloaded, you go to your downloads folder, and if it's a zip file like this, says zip at the end. If it's not open, you always have to do this open with archive utility. Okay, but I've already done that, so here are mine. Okay, and those are the same photos that I want you to have. Okay, there's 6 of them for today's lesson. Okay, so once you've got those, the next step is to open Lightroom, and you'll go down, you'll see LRC and LR. LRC stands for Lightroom Classic, which we're not going to be using, but we're going to use Lightroom CC, which is Creative Cloud. Basically, that means that all the photos for Lightroom, when you do it this way, are on the cloud, so you can access them from any device, like your phone or your tablet or whatever. So anyway, get that open. Okay, so just a quick overview. So as you can see, we've got a panel that's got all the pictures on it. And you may not have any probably because you haven't brought any in yet, but I've been using it for a while, so I've got some photos. But you can look at your panels in different ways, you know, just so you can see the different ways you can view them. Okay, I'm going to stick with this way for now. But the first thing that needs to happen is you guys need to get your photos in here. So Adobe organizes things in folders and albums. So what I'm going to do is going to show you, basically I got to here, I created a folder called Lightroom Teaching Photos, and then I created albums within it. So Lightroom Controls, Lightroom Basics. So but what I want you to do is create your own. So close this up. And so to do that, it's very simple. You just hit the plus button, okay, and do create folder. That's the first thing you do. And I'll call this Lightroom Teaching 1, because I've already made one, so I'm just gonna make a different one. So, and I notice I deselected that because I didn't want it to go inside any other folder. So, and there it is. And now once I have it, I can create an album, and in this one I could call it Lightroom Controls and say create, and that's where I would bring my photos, the ones I asked you to bring in today. So just add photos and bring them in. But I've already done this here, so I'm just going to delete what I just did. So if you ever want to get an album, just do that and deletes the folder. Okay. All right. Once you have your photos in, let's just go through some of the basics. So let's start with going to this album and using those 6 photos. Once again, if it doesn't look like this, you may just have been clicking on a different one of these. Okay. Also, if this panel where all the photo organization happens is not there, this button here will bring it back. Okay. So it's pretty simple. So let's just take this photo, for example, of the city. Double click and it opens like that. You got this film strip down here, by the way, and you can just click and that'll take you between the different photos. You can collapse that if it's ever kind of in your way over here. But I like that. It's a great way to navigate. So the first tool you'll start off with is the editing tool here. And when you come down here, you can like edit all sorts of things. For example, you can go to light and, you know, bring the exposure down, bring it up. Same with contrast, bring it down. There's, you know, a little bit more contrast. Contrast is the difference between the lights and the darks. But I would encourage you to play around with these different things, and And as always, you can reset. And let me see if I can, reset edits, and it just takes it back. But there's, like, you can change colors. Let's say you shot it and the white balance wasn't right. That happens a lot. So you can cool it down, you can warm it up. I just encourage you to just play with these things. You can put effects on it. Just play with it and see what it does. We'll get more specific later. Anyway, so that's basically what you do, and you just go to each photo, you kind of dial it in the way you want it to be dialed in. So, let's say this one, I don't know, let's say I wanted a little more contrast, I could do that. And then it's going to save that. You don't have to do anything else. But once again, if you do want to reset it, you just go here and just do reset your edits. Okay. Let's see if there's anything else besides that. I think that's really about it. I want you to be able to bring your photos in, create an album, and do some edits to them. So I think that's a good start. So we'll stop there.